So thank you all for taking the time out of your busy day to understand the Riverbed solution for true end user experience monitoring. My name's Dan Moss and I'm an SE based in the UK, focusing on our SteelCentral platform, which is our complete digital experience management solution. So the focus of this session is to get an overview of SteelCentral Aternity, why user experience matters more than ever, and how the solution will enable you to become trusted advisors to your customers by helping to improve user productivity and overall performance. So end user experience today is becoming a key factor for determining whether an IT app, platform, or any digital transformation project has been a success. User experience is changing the way businesses today use technology to improve user satisfaction and productivity, which in turn help drive growth and overall performance. So crucially for mobile and tablet devices, developers have to ensure that user experience is at the heart of their applications. We now have a generation of end users who are ever more demanding and will quickly dismiss and uninstall an app if it doesn't deliver the performance, experience, and overall improved productivity that they demand. So without staying too focused on a purely mobile experience, it's a trend now that is becoming crucial on the traditional desktop, laptop, and virtual estates, which are the primary devices used for day-to-day business activities. So whether these are external customers or internal staff, there is now increased pressure on IT teams and service providers to deliver a better experience and improve overall productivity. Any digital transformation or IT initiative needs user experience at the core to ensure success, whether that be an operating system migration or transferring services to the cloud. If the projects aren't monitored from a performance perspective, putting user experience at the heart, the chances of user pushback are significantly greater. The lack of adoption of new technology due to it affecting productivity would deem the project a failure with wasted expenditure. So the problem, however, for IT and service providers is that traditional performance monitoring tools have never focused on the end user, so trying to improve without knowing the current experience has always proved difficult. Now there are many tools out there for monitoring and managing all aspects of IT, whether it be the device, the hypervisor, operating system, network application, servers, etc. But most of these provide a siloed view of what is going on, making it difficult to get a holistic picture of the IT landscape, especially from an end user perspective. It can also be very difficult to understand how each IT silo is impacting the user without understanding directly and measuring what the end user experience actually is. Your services may still all be available and all have nice green tick boxes, but does the user app respond in a timely fashion? Are transactions taking too long to process? Are they experiencing crashes? Without the right focus on the end user's digital experience, it's impossible to answer these questions. Digital experience management is all about end-to-end monitoring to ensure no blind spots across the complex hybrid environment. Having this information available in a single console with the ability to pivot into each silo seamlessly helps get to the root cause of any problems faster. So this is where SteelCentral portfolio really excels, because we have all these silos covered across the device, application, network and infrastructure, but also with the differentiator of true end user experience monitoring. So while some DEM vendors claim to offer end user experience monitoring, in reality they're basing these off of device metrics only, or sending out surveys to end users asking for feedback on their experience. User experience isn't measured on desktop resource consumption, it's measured on an end user's ability to do their job effectively, regardless of the technology they are using. So SteelCentral Aternity collects metrics from both the device and application, while adding user-based metrics, allowing you to measure productivity without any user interaction. So by monitoring business activities, or click to render as we call it, we can provide metrics for user interactions with applications and the response times of those activities or transactions to complete as the user sees it on their screen. And importantly, we can do this for virtually any Windows-based application, whether it's off the shelf or in-house developed. It's the equivalent of having a support desk agent sat behind every user with a stopwatch for each business activity they perform as part of their day-to-day work. By measuring business activity response times, we can now benchmark what normal performance is. So any negative deviation from this will be an indicator that something is causing a performance problem. Alternatively, maybe even a positive deviation, example, a recent network or device upgrade, or that's actually got an improved overall performance. So as a service provider, you now become trusted advisors to your customers, enabling IT to focus where they'll gain the biggest return on their investment, helping to improve overall productivity. So in terms of the benefits of end user experience data and what it can bring to your service, so the ability to understand your customers' environments, what's out there in terms of devices, operating systems and applications, what the current user experience is actually like. Are applications crashing often? So there's an app discovery in there which will find all applications running in your environment, including any shadow IT within the estate also. And then once you've understood what's out there, you can now start to benchmark current performance. So by benchmarking, you can now understand when deviations occur from this baseline. So often even setting a realistic SLA for your service desk can be a huge task without understanding the current performance. So where SLAs aren't set, any support tickets raised can always be deemed as a priority one, when in reality, by looking at all the data, a problem could simply be affecting one user or one particular area, which could set the priority lower. Also, with cloud adoption greater than ever, so by benchmarking current performance of your on-premise systems, any change to a SaaS-based solution, example maybe Office 365, can now be measured before and after. Which leads nicely on to validating the impact of change. As I've just mentioned, by benchmarking normal performance, any changes that now occur in your environment, whether initiated by yourselves or by other external factors out of your control, you can now help identify these deviations and find the root cause faster. So for changes made by IT staff or maybe even the customer themselves, example weekly patch updates, this can be used to determine if the change has had a positive or negative effect on the environment. If budgets are limited, you can identify where the biggest impact on user productivity will be across their estate, helping to prioritize spending for users or departments that need it the most. So this capability alone will set a service provider apart, as now they're contributing to improving overall performance, helping drive revenue for that company. And then any improvements in productivity can now also be measured and even converted to cost savings values by using average salary rates. You now have objective data that helps justify spends, but you can also even defend spends in situations where there may be a perception that performance is slower, when in reality it's either the same, if not better. And lastly, you can see how end user experience analytics help across multiple business functions within your customers, from techies right the way through to business execs. So end user services teams now have the ability to diagnose and isolate issues quicker. They can help troubleshoot application and device issues, or even be able to spot potential problems in the future. Example, hard disk errors that could lead to a loss of data. This adds better value to your service by being proactive rather than reactive to end user issues. Operations teams can now be looking at the bigger picture, analysing the high level data to see if changes to the environment are actually having a negative effect on productivity. This can help prioritise problems in the environment that could have a knock-on effect into impacting customers and staff. Also having the ability to optimise areas of the business that need investment to improve overall user experience and meet SLA targets. Application owners can now see the adoption of new versions within the estate. They can also assess if application updates have actually improved overall performance. And then execs can now understand how the business is performing from a high level. They also have the facts to determine what applications are performing poorly, affecting lost productivity, maybe resulting in lost revenue. But on the flip side, and they now have the ability to see reports showing how investments made based on your recommendations have actually improved overall performance, becoming trusted advisors.